Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my most heartfelt pranams at our Master's Lotus Feet, Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba, respected director of this blessed institution, Shri Sanjay Sani Sir, and all the honorable colleagues, office colleagues, professors, my dear young students. When we see this famous Hall of Fame, our memories date back to all the events that had happened in this blessed hall, where our Master delivered clarion call to the nation, to the humanity, to mankind, with his various summer course discourses, various programs which was held here, where Bhagwan moved in every nook and corner of this hall. I consider it a very good privilege, a blessing indeed, to be amidst all of you. My friends, when I think about this institution, my memories goes back to late 70s and 80s, when I was denied admission into this college. I finished my pre-university intermediate in Hyderabad. I don't want to say I was denied, but Providence possibly ensured that I was kept out of this institution. But it has proved to be good. When I came back to join this institution with all the eagerness to be a part of Swami's institution, it was a part of Bangalore University. The admissions were all over long back here. The results came very late, and I was very late by only 15 days. The academic year was about to start. So having come to Bangalore, I had to join an institution. I joined Sheshadripuram College and finished my Bachelor of Commerce degree, where also it was led by Professor Somya, who was also an ardent devotee of Bhagwan. Of course, we came here as a group of students, early 80s, I think, or 70s, late 70s, to have Bhagwan's darshan. We had visited the science exhibition here, which was conducted by the students. Ever since then, I had this grudge, I should say, if I can use this term, to be more active in Sai organization. I had participated with vengeance because I was denied. Sometimes in life, when denial comes, it turns out to be productive. So Bhagwan denied this opportunity to me, and that was a blessing in disguise for me to be more active in the organization. This is a basic, a brief introduction about me as regards my denial into this institution is concerned, but I consider all of you very lucky. My friends, let me tell you, since I have seen both the sides of the table, you are indeed blessed to be a part of this institution. No doubt about it. Since I am also a soft skills trainer, I also train a lot of people in outside institutes, chartered accountant institutes, MBA institute and engineering colleges. The kind of life people undergo there is not worth mentioning. We have here a right kind of an ambience, the right kind of a curriculum, and the right kind of blessed lecturers and teachers who can elevate your consciousness. And that is what is most required in life today. Friends, we had a 2-day conference on bhajans. It was called as a National Bhajan Conference. Basically, the organization thought about streamlining the whole process of bhajan singing in all the centers all over the country, and to have a homogeneous approach, a procedure laid down in the form of a guideline, which is already there, but we wanted to have a relook and make some amendments and have a guideline in place. So that was the basic objective in which the organization was held, but Bhagwan had a lot of other plans. He ensured that this conference was not only an informative meeting for all of us, the organization members, but also ensured that it was a message for all the mankind, in fact I should say, who are into bhajan singing. This is a conference. Bhagwan ensured that 8 of the Sai students participated actively. They shared their experiences, they shared their knowledge, the nuances of bhajan singing and Namasmarana. Not only that, even at the stage of comparing, we had organized 2 of the Ananthapur students, sisters who had come and compared. The whole program, Siddhant was there. 2 generations of bhajan singers. We had Sonam, we had Rupak, Hino, we had Rupak, we had Kote coming and sharing their experiences. We had the next day Amay Deshpande, Ravi Kumar and Siddharth sharing their experiences on how they were, or the kind of experiences they had of conducting bhajan session in front of Bhagwan, and the certain of the insights of the directions which they received from Bhagwan. I'd like to share with you at the outset, before I go to the presentation, some of the aspects which these students shared. Practice of Omkaram early in the morning helps us to clear the throat. Practice of Omkaram clears the throat when singing bhajans. Secondly, it seems Pandit Jasraj was there in Prashant Galayam, and he shared some of his knowledge of voice culturing to the students, and Ravi Kumar sir was mentioning that the practice of Hari Ho in one note is very, very important, and the continuous practice of that will ensure that your throat is supple, it is modulated, and you will be able to sing all the songs. Like for example, starting with Hari, there are a lot of bhajans which end with Yam. For example, Kasturi Tilakam Narayanam. This is a very challenging bhajan where you have to hold your breath, close your mouth also, and extend that Yam. You can't say Kasturi Tilakam Narayanam, which normally some of the ladies do, or Mahila members. No, it should not be now, it should be That practice, the control of that comes to you when we start practicing Hari Om. This was suggested by Pandit Jasraj. Ravi Kumar shared a very interesting experience. I can share the name with you because it was a piece of information. There in the conference we did not reveal. It was S. Kumar, a very good singer, whose voice was breaking. And Swami pointed out and said that, he looked at him and said that your voice is breaking. It's because of bad breath, or rather you are not breathing properly. Your breathing process is not correct. Since your breathing process is not right, your voice is cracked. Then Swami suggested that you go for jogging every day. You go for jogging, and jogging helps you to regulate your breathing, and this will clear your throat. You will not have any cracks while you are singing. And next day the student was there on the ground jogging, and Ravi Kumar curiously asked him, "What, brother? You have started jogging? You are on a weight loss program?" He didn't want to reveal, but then later on he got it right answer. It was not a weight loss program, it was a crack loss program. It's because just to maintain the throat that Swami had advised him to go on a jogging. He went on a jogging and his voice improved. So these are some of the tips which Ravi Kumar also shared with us. Now my friends, on to the PowerPoint presentation. There are 3 aspects. One is a video on an introduction on Nam Sankirtan. The second will be a PowerPoint presentation. on the nuances of singing as well as the inner significance of Namasmarana. And the third one is our own Bhagwan in his mellifluous voice, talking about the same aspects which we have shared in the PowerPoint in his own voice. Let us first listen to this video. This was a video created by an ex-student again, Aish, next alumni of our institute in Parthi. The voiceover was, I think it's obvious, it was Siddhant who gave a voiceover. Now back to the presentation, my friends. This presentation on Nama Sankirtan is about the power of Namasmarana. We are talking about that power which transformed a highway robber, a terrorist in today's parlance, Ratnakarai to Valmiki, a saint poet. We are talking about that power which transmuted food, poison into food when Meera offered it to Lord Krishna. We are talking about that power which young Dhruva incessantly prayed. He was incessantly doing Namasmarana of Om Namo Narayana, and he got the vision of Narayana. We are talking about that power which was in fact responsible for the fourth avatar of Mahavishnu in the form of Lord Narasimha to Prahlada. Now, these are some of the extracts from the ocean of Sai literature. Sai literature is so big. Bhagavan has given so much of insights into this aspect of Nama Sankirtan. It's an ocean. The deeper one goes into this ocean, the more precious pearls one will be able to extract from this ocean. These are some of the pearls out of Bhagavan's discourses. Bhagavan said, it was in 1982 in Dharma Kshetra, he defined the name Nama. What does Nama say? Numerologically speaking, A is 2, Na is 2, Na is 0, A is 2, and Ma is 5. Na is 0, nothing. A is 2, and Ma is 5. The total makes it 7, which represents the Sapta Swaras, Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni in music. This represents the 7 rishis. This represents the Sapta Varnas and also the Sapta Samudras, says Bhagavan. Now, Nama Sankirtan, Namasmarana also has got 7 elements. All bhajan singers must have the knowledge about this awareness. One is the Shruti, Laya, Raga, Thala, Bhava, Prema and Samhita. These are the 7 aspects of Nama Sankirtan. It is only with the presence of these 7 aspects of Namasmarana that bhajan becomes a tapas. It has the power only when these 7 ingredients are present in Nama Sankirtan. If it is only based on raga, if it is only based on the lyrics, it does not get that power. Namasmarana will get the power with these 7 ingredients, says Bhagavan. Now, why Namasmarana? One of the primary reasons for any spiritual activities, and more specifically Nama Sankirtan, is Chitta Shuddhi. Chittasya Suddhe Karmaha, says Bhagavan. My friends, we are all burdened with animal instincts thanks to our previous lives. This was clearly told by Bhagavan in one of these. Often elephant, Madha. If you are foolish, it is an aspect, it's a trait inherited from sheep. Stealing is an act of cat. Unsteady and wavering mind is of a monkey. We all take revenge. Revenge need not be very, very serious. Even if you don't wish me Sairam yesterday, I don't see your face today, is also a trait of that revenge. This revenge is a trait which we have inherited from snakes. Now, my friends, do we have these qualities? Yes, we have these qualities. We all have these qualities in various proportions in our subconscious mind, inherited from our previous past. These are all called as negative samskaras. This does not get erased that easily. It takes a lot of effort on our part, sadhana, swadhyaya, and all that spiritual discipline to wash out these negative traits. And the chief among that is Namasankirtan. With Namasankirtan, we will be able to erase all these negative tendencies. So Namasankirtan is basically for our Chitta Shuddhi. So the power of Namasankirtan is capable of clearing our Chitta. Chitta Shuddhi Karma. Number one. Number two, it is also a prescription for human evolution. My friends, we have traveled a long way. We have grown from minerals to animals. We all have learned about Darwin's theory of evolution. That is only one part. The evolution, the real evolution from man to God should take place now. And this is not going to be automatic. The evolution process from mineral to man has been automatic and unconscious. We don't have to put any effort. A dog, it does not have to do Namasmarana or meditation to become man. It automatically becomes man. But when man has to raise to the level of divine, he or she must put in efforts, and that sadhana, Namasankirtan, is a path for that evolution. Namasmarana is a path for that evolution which makes man to God. And it is only possible when we are in this life. And if we lose that opportunity, we are wasting a very, very golden opportunity to elevate ourselves to higher levels of consciousness. Bhagavan says Namasmarana is like an air. It's like an air which is needed to open up the charcoal. For example, charcoal is covered with ash. The ash is negativity. We need the air of Namasmarana to blow the ashes away. We need the air of Namasmarana, wind of Namasmarana to ensure that the negative Arishad Vargas are removed, which is clouding the splendor of the sun, the splendor of our own innate divinity. Bhagavan says Namasankirtan is an interplay between Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. How? He says that Shiva represents the heart, which represents the bhava, Vishnu the mind, and Brahma named Shabda Brahma, through which we sing. So Shiva represents bhava, Raga is represented by Vishnu, and the sound is represented by Brahma. Brahma, Swami says, is the son of Vishnu. Brahma is born out of the navel of Vishnu, so he is the son of Vishnu. He is born out of the navel of Vishnu. So Shiva is the heart, Brahma represents mind, and Vishnu represents mind, and Brahma is the voice that comes out of our throat. So a Namasankirtan, bhajan, is an interplay between Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. This is one aspect of it. The second is, Bhagavan says we need to have unity of thought, word and deed. Very difficult in the outside world to maintain the thought, word and deed. But how do I get the practice of maintaining thought, word and deed, unity of thought, word and deed in the outside world? It starts with Namasankirtan. When we have unity of thought, word and deed, then Swami says the proper study of mankind is man. But how do we achieve that in bhajans? When we have the form in the mind, the thought, when we have the lyrics through the lips, when we sing His glory, and we clap with the hands, there is a unity of thought, word and deed. Not only that, the power of Namasmarana, the power of the name, ensures that we also have purity of thought, word and deed. So unity and purity of thought, word and deed is achieved by Namasmarana. Now this is very important. Please lend your ears. This is a very important aspect all bhajan singers must have. Brothers, it is not with the throat that we are singing. Many times we say that my throat is not good, I am not going to sing today. No. The actual emanation of the voice is from Nabi, says Bhagavan. The voice emanates from Nabi and it travels up to the throat. The name is also originated from navel. Brothers chanted Vedam here. In Ganapati Adhara Sirisham, specific mention about this. Ganapati is present in all the four stages. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari. Chatvari Vak-Pradani, Tvam Gunatrayatitaha, Tvam Avastatrayatitaha. Chatvari Vak-Pradani means Bhagavan, Lord is present in all the four stages. There is Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari. Para is our navel. Pashyanti is the heart. Madhyama is the throat. And Vaikari is the tongue or the lips through which the voice is coming out. So we need to ensure that the voice or the name emanates from our navel and not from the lips. Saint Tyagaraja also adds to this. Most of you must have heard Saint Tyagaraja's composition, So Bhilla Saptaswaram. In the Anupallavi, he sings, Nabi Hrikantarasana, Nabi Hrikantarasana, Nabi Hrikantarasana. This is how the flow of voice comes out. Now, this we have to have a knowledge because Bhagavan says whenever we are chanting Vedam, whenever you are singing bhajans, we should assume that the voice is coming out of our navel. Now there is a spiritual significance, a very deep significance which only Bhagavan can share. Bhagavan says Krishna was born in Mathura, but he was brought up in Gokulam. He was brought and tended and he lived and played and sang in Gokulam. All his leelas were in Gokulam, but he took birth in Mathura. The avatar took birth in Mathura. Immediately he left Mathura and travelled to Gokulam. Now this has got a significance. How? Swami says, navel represents Mathura. Our navel from which the voice emanates represents Mathura. The divine name is Krishna, which has to travel from the navel level to the mouth, which is Gokulam, and the tongue represents Yashoda. I don't mind repeating it for our understanding. The tongue is Yashoda, mouth is Gokulam. The divine name is Krishna and the navel is Mathura. So the divine name which is born in Mathura must travel to Gokulam, which is the mouth, and play on the tongue, which is Yashoda. So the name, the tongue will have to foster the name. The tongue will have to tend the name. It should be that we should allow the name to dance on this tongue. Now, this is the process of Namasankirtan. When we have this awareness when we sing bhajans, our bhajans will have more power. Now, what is the significance of this? Bhagavan gives a beautiful anecdote. He says, Krishna played his leelas in Gokulam. He was dancing on the hoods of Kalinga Nartana. What is the significance of this? When he danced on the hoods of Kalinga, the poison of the Kalinga got ejected out. The purpose of that is not to harm the society, the people who were living in that region. The poison should not harm. Now when the name dances on our tongue, the name of Krishna or Sai dances on our tongue, the poison of our personality gets ejected. 4 sins we commit normally, Swami says, with our tongue. One is uttering falsehood, talking ill of others, indulging in scandal and excessive talk. These are all considered as poison, which gets automatically ejected out of our personality without harming the society in which we are living. This is the power of Namasmarana. When the name dances on the tongue, the negativity is ejected out automatically. We don't have to put special efforts for that. This itself is a process of sadhana. Power of Namasmarana. We all heard about Brahma Chaitanya Gondevilkar Maharaj. Gondevilkar Maharaj was in Maharashtra. He was a person, a saint, who propounded this Namasmarana movement, who started this Namasmarana movement. His famous Namasmarana was Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. And most of these devotees followed this Namasmarana, the style of Namasankirtan. There was an old lady, an illiterate lady, who was living alone in the ashram. who took up this name as very, very seriously. She practiced it every day, so much so that, in fact, his sons were staying far away. They used to send money order every day, every month for her maintenance. Every day she used to spend on Nam Sankirtan, day in and day out. My friends, so much that her blood, bone and marrow was filled with Namasmarana. The entire blood, bone and marrow and nerves were filled with Ramanama. That once when she received a money order from her son, she had to put her thumb impression. When she put the thumb impression, what comes out is the name of Rama. The name of Rama came out. It was stamped when she received the money order. Such was the power of Namasmarana, which you and I can achieve even today, provided we allow the name to dance on our tongue with feeling incessantly. Bhagavan says the 5 elements absorb all the sound vibrations that is generated by us. And positive vibrations have got positive effects. The agricultural crops attract these positive vibrations. Now, there is a classic example of Autumn Jumsai, who experimented in a Satisai school in Thailand, where he planted in 2 different fields agricultural crops, paddy, and one field was, both the fields had the same amount of soil as well as the kind of manure. But in one field, lot of prayers were infused. There used to be a lot of Gayatri being chanted, and bhajans were sung every day by the students of the Satisai schools, and the other plot was vacant, and it was the plant was allowed to grow in the normal process. Now, after some time, the plants where name was infused, it had more healthy crops compared to the other field. This is a practical example from Autumn Jumsai. Now, Bhagavan says in one of his discourses that not these plants alone, not the 5 elements, even the inert objects like the table, the mic, the walls and the pillars absorb the vibrations. That is why we see everybody looks healthy in Prashant Nilayam. The flowers are very, very blooming, the vegetables are very, very fresh, even the lizard looks very, very healthy in Prashant Nilayam. Now, my friends, let's analyze in about 5 minutes the scientific aspects, the effect of Nam Sankirtan, the scientific aspects of Nam Sankirtan. Because we tend to believe more in science than spirituality. There is one person called Dr. Masaru Emoto, a professor in Japan, who had conducted a lot of experiments on the effect of thought and verbal vibrations on water. This he has studied in his famous book called Hidden Messages of Water. In fact, you can visit his blog. He says, when Japan was affected with earthquake, the Fujiwara dam was severely affected. The waters were very, very murky. And to wash away and to purify the water, he had invited a Buddhist monk who offered prayers. Now, Dr. Emoto took the water crystals and crystallized it and put it in a microscope. The shape was like this before the prayer was offered, because it was like the face of a sorrowing lady. But after the prayers were offered, the water crystals formed like this on the right hand side. So this was before the prayer, this was after the prayer. Now, this shows that the effect of positive words, positive names, how the water absorbs these powers, these vibrations, and forms into a very beautiful crystal. Now, friends, if this can happen to water outside, what cannot happen to our human body inside, which is filled, 70% of our body is filled with water in the form of So this is the power of Namasankirtan. There is one Dr. Temple Tutler who did an extensive study on Vedic chanting and bhajans and Namasankirtan. He is a professor at Cleveland University in America. He says there are two things which happen. Supposing you sing a bhajan or you chant a mantra without knowing a name, just mechanically, as most of us do, you will have only a melodious effect on your body. You will just enjoy the melody. But if you can understand the meaning and then chant with the feeling, then you will have the neuro-linguistic effect, the NLE, and also the psycho-linguistic effect, that is the PLE. So the NLE and PLE, the result of which, what happens is our brain produces a lot of curative chemicals. Our brain produces a lot of curative chemicals, and the curing process, the self-defense mechanism of our body increases, and we will be able to confront most of the physical problems which you would have otherwise had. So, to have NLE plus PLE, he says you know the meaning of the mantra or the bhajan and sing with a devotion and sing with bhava. Now my friends, this is what Swami says. This is what Tyagaraja says. Swami has been quoting Tyagaraja in very many discourses, and one of the discourses says, Swami says, know the meaning. Telisi Ramachintana Chayavamo Manasa. Swami has been saying this Tyagaraja's songs, and Swami says, don't become a straw. In the video also we say that when we sing the bhajan without knowing the meaning, we are reduced to a level of a straw. How? There is a glass of juice, cool juice, and also a straw with which we use to draw cool juice, and until it reaches the tongue, we don't know the taste. The glass is full of juice, the sweet juice passes through the straw, but neither the glass nor the straw knows the sweetness or enjoy the sweetness or coolness of the juice until a drop touches the tongue. Similarly, when we sing a bhajan without knowing the meaning, we of course transport our own people who listen to the bhajans to a very high level of consciousness, enjoy bhajan. They lose themselves in the melody of the bhajan, but we ourselves do not enjoy, mainly because we have not enjoyed we have not sung with bhava. So, if we can sing with bhava, we not only enjoy ourselves, we can also share the bliss with others. So Swami says, don't become a spoon. A spoon is used basically to distribute honey or amrit. The spoon does not know the same taste, but when you receive it, when you put it on the tongue knows the taste. So let's not reduce ourselves to a level of a straw or a spoon. Let's realize the meaning of what we sing. Even listening bhajans has got the following effects. Reduces the blood pressure. This is all research done by Professor Temple Tutler of Cleveland University. Reduces the blood pressure, normalizes the heartbeat. Adrenaline levels are reduced, brain wave pattern is normalized, and cholesterol. Who do not have these problems? Most of us have these problems. So let's sing bhajans and normalize these things. The aspect of clapping is also very important in Sai bhajans. Swami says clap and sing. The spiritual significance of this is, when we clap and sing, Swami has said, I think most of you must have heard also, must have read in books, that the tree is compared to life. When its tree of life is infested with birds, it spoils, and in order to drive away these birds, we must clap. When we clap and sing the glory of God, the negative thoughts which is infested in our brain, in our mind, will get driven away, and we are rendered pure. So it's very important. The spiritual significance is we should clap and sing. Now, coming to the scientific aspect. When we clap and sing, research has proved, according to the science of reflexology and acupressure, there are 39 points which get pressed when we clap. When we clap, there are 39 acupressure points which gets touched, which is very, very healthy when we clap. What is the benefit? The benefit is that it releases the stress, stops malfunctioning of liver, relieves joint pains, releases endorphin. It also improves memory. It also improves vision. These are the benefits which we have while clapping. I'd like to share a personal incident which happened a year back in one of the corporates in Bangalore. It is a small corporate business process outsourcing which are into accounts and finance functions. The employees were very much stressed and we were invited to do an activity there. In fact, the first day I had gone there to collect the reasons for their stress. So I had gone there with a good scribbling pad and then made notes of all the reasons for stress. They were all pouring out the reasons for their stress, abusing and accusing each other. Now I told them that now that you have poured out all your stress levels have definitely come down. Don't worry. I was supposed to go back the next day with a solution with a tailor-made package for stress management. But what happened was that the management, the HR manager had already announced that there is going to be an activity on stress management that day. So I had to do an activity. What can I do? Except in doing bhajans. Then I said, my friends, one day before, coincidentally I had read an article about reflexology and acupressure and how clapping helps in reducing tension. So I asked them to clap. I asked all the employees to clap. Most of them clapped in a very, very haphazard manner. Some started clapping on the left hand side, some was not harmonious. There was no harmony. Then I said, please follow me and clap like this. They started clapping like this. Then I said, I will sing a bhajan, a prayer, which is covering all the religions, a prayer of all the religions. They kept on clapping like this. Then I started, Govinda Bolo, Gopala Bolo, Govinda Bolo, Gopala Bolo. I completed the first speed of the bhajan. I could see a lot of smiles in their face. They have not heard this bhajan. They heard it for the first time. They all clapped and clapped and clapped. Believe me, friends, when I say that when they wrote the feedback, the next day I got a feedback that on that day, their stress levels were reduced. In fact, they did not experience any stress at all while they were working. They were able to discharge their duties with a lot of enthusiasm. This is the power of bhajans. The power of Namasmarana affects all the four aspects of our creation. Individual vyashti, samashti, because society, the devotees enjoy our bhajans. Singer himself enjoys our bhajans, provided of course we sing with devotion and also realizing the name. Srishti, the nature gets purified, and Parveshti, God is happy. So all the four aspects, Vyashti, Samashti, Srishti and Parameshti are touched and benefited by Namasankirtan. A video of Bhagavan got all the aspects which we shared just now.
No human being is making any effort. From where does this name come? How does it occur? Where does it end? What is its origin and what is its
దీనికి ఆధారము ఆదర్శము భాగవతమే. ఆధారము ఆదర్శము భాగవతమే.
The very basis and the idea is found in Bhagavata.
బలవాను కృష్ణుడు ఎక్కడ పుట్టారో యశోదకు తెలియదు.
Yashoda did not know where Balarama and Krishna were born.
కానీ తన కుమారులే భావించి యశోద వారిని చాపుతూ వచ్చింది.
She considered them as her own children and she was taking care of them and protecting them, bringing them up.
వీరిరువురు గోకులంలో నివసిస్తూ వచ్చారు.
They were staying in Gokulam.
మధురలో పుట్టారు.
They were born in Mathura.
దేవకీదేవి గర్భంలో పెరిగారు.
They were fostered in the womb of Devaki Devi.
యశోద ఇంటిలో ఆట ఆడుతున్నారు.
They were playing in the home of Yashoda.
ఇక్కడ యశోద ఎవరు?
Who is Yashoda here?
గోకులం ఏది?
What do you mean by
మధుర ఏది?
What is Mathura?
దేవకీదేవి ఎవరు?
Who is Devaki Devi?
ఈ అన్నింటి యొక్క అంతరాత్మను చక్కగా గుర్తించడానికి ప్రయత్నించినప్పుడు
When one tries to understand the inner meaning of all this,
ఇది పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క దివ్యమైనటువంటి చరిత్రంగా రూపొందుతూ వచ్చింది.
it becomes a very sacred story.
ఈ బలరాముడు మధురలో జన్మించారు.
This Balarama and Krishna were born in Mathura.
ఈ మధుర అనగా ఏమి?
What do you mean by Mathura?
నాటి స్థానమే మధుర.
It is in Naval is that is Mathura.
దివ్య శక్తియే దేవకీదేవి.
The divine power is Devaki.
నాదము అనేటువంటి యొక్క దేవకీదేవి అని ఉద్భవించి ఒక నాడము అనేటువంటి యొక్క నాది నుండి కూడాను వారు ఆవిర్భవించి
They have taken their birth
గోకులము అనే నోరులో చేరి
in the sound
యశోద అనే నాలుగు పైన పెరుగుతూ వచ్చారు.
and they entered into Gokulam, which may be compared to the mouth, and they grew up on tongue.
నాలుకనే యశోద,
This tongue may be compared to Yashoda.
నోరే గోకులము,
This mouth may be compared to Gokulam.
నాభి మధురము.
The navel is Mathura.
దివ్య శక్తియే దేవకీదేవి.
The divine power is Devaki Devi.
పవిత్రమైనటువంటి నామము ఈ యొక్క బలరామకృష్ణుడు.
This Balarama Krishna are the sacred names.
రామ అనేటువంటి లభించినటువంటిది ఏ విధంగా లభించేటువంటి మహాబలవత్తరంగా లభించేటువంటిది.
The one which delights is Rama, and the one which delights greatly, that is really Rama.
ఈ నామములు మన నాభి నుండి ఆవిర్భవించేటువంటివే కానీ కేవలం నాలుగు నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటివి కాదు.
Therefore, this name has to emanate from the navel itself, not from the
దాని
God.
నుండి మనం కాపాడుకోవాలి ఆ నామము.
We have to foster it right from the navel stage where it takes.
కానీ స్మరణ మాత్రం నాభి నుండి రావాలి.
But the very remembrance must come from the navi, from the navel.
కనుక నామస్మరణ అనేటువంటిది నాడి నుండి ఆవిర్భవించి నాలుగు పైన నాట్యమాడినప్పుడే అది పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క నామంగా రూపొందుతుంది.
The name becomes a very sacred thing when it originates from navel and dances on the tongue.
ఈ నామము అనేటువంటి దానికి అర్థం ఏమిటి?
What is the meaning of
నామ.
What is the meaning of name? Nama.
నా ఆ మా ఈ నామం.
That consists of three na, a, ma.
నా ఆ మా.
Na, a, ma.
ఇది సంఖ్యాశాస్త్రం నందు కూడాను ఇది 7గా రూపొందుతుంది.
According to numerology, in science of numerology, it becomes 7.
నా అనగా 0. నా లేదు నా.
Na stands for 0.
ఇంకా ఆ అనేటువంటిది 2 అని నంబరు.
A stands for 2.
మా అనేటువంటిది 5 నంబరు.
Ma stands for number 5.
0 plus 2 plus 5 is equal 7.
This 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 7.
నా ఆ మా.
Na.
కనుకనే ఈ 7కి కూడాను సప్తస్వరములు అని పేరు పెట్టారు.
This 7 stands for the 7 swaras.
జగత్తంతా కూడాను సంగీతం నందు కూడాను సా రి గ మ ప ద ని ఇది 7 శబ్దాలు.
The entire music consists of these 7 sounds. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma.
ఇది సప్త స్వరములు కూడాను.
These are the 7 sounds also.
సూర్యుని యందు ఉండేటువంటి సప్త రంగులు కూడాను.
These are also 7 colors.
ప్రపంచంలో ఉన్నటువంటి సప్త సముద్రములు కూడాను.
These are also 7 oceans in the world.
దివ్య జ్ఞాన స్వరూపులైనటువంటి సప్త ఋషులు కూడాను.
These are also Sapta Rishis who are the embodiments of wisdom.
కనుక నామము అనగా సప్త ఋషుల యొక్క సంబంధం.
This Nama stands for the Saptarshis, 7 sages,
సప్త సముద్రములని కూడాను పేరు.
7 oceans,
సప్త స్వరములని కూడాను పేరు.
7 sounds.
కనుకనే ఈ నామములు చేసేటువంటి సప్తాహము అని ఉంటున్నారు.
That is a short clipping on the inner significance of Namasankirtan. Friends, I thank everybody. Thank especially Sanjay Sani sir, the director of the institute, for having given me this opportunity of sharing this. For short of time, there were certain points which we could not discuss. Perhaps in the next occasion when we meet, we'll be able to share that also. Sai Ram. Thank you.
Offering my love and pranams and Bhagwan's word to speak. Esteemed Mr. Sundar, respected colleagues and dear students. Last Saturday, Sunday, when we had the National Bhajan Conference in Brindavan, I had a peep into some of their programs, and I felt if our students could benefit at least partially from what was shared by one and all there. And it's Swami's will that we had Mr. Sundar with us today to share his presentation. Tulsidas in his Ramcharitmanas says, Rama Nama Mani Deep Dharu Ji Deri Dwar Tulsi Bhitar Bahiro Jo Chasi Ujiyar. He compares the name of the Lord as a lamp which is put on the threshold of the house. And when you put the lamp on the threshold, it provides light not only inside the house, but also sheds light outside the house. So similarly, he says, take the name of the Lord, put it on your tongue, if you want both your inside and the environment outside to be illuminated. Worldwide research is going on the message of the Lord, and Mr. Sundar gave us a glimpse of how devotees all over the world are taking Swami's words, contemplating on it, its significance, and trying to digest the immensity of the message that Bhagwan has left with us. I thank Mr. Sundar for the insights from Swami's message that he shared with all of us, especially for the benefit of our bhajan voice. We close with Aarti.